So as I was creating this mastermind, I did a ton of research around why do people avoid writing their first book? What is it that gets in the way? What is it that stops people? What do people need in place in order to move forward in writing their first book? And one of the biggest blocks that I found, one of the biggest reasons why people don't write their first book is because they don't have any accountability in place. And so when I created the mastermind, I thought, okay, how can I create multiple levels of accountability? Because when you step into this program and you say, yep, I'm writing my first book, how can we hold you accountable to what you've committed to yourself that you're going to do? And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You know, when you sign up for the mastermind, what you're going to notice is that all of your stuff is going to come up. All of your stuff is going to come up. But here's the thing, when all of your stuff comes up and you're just writing your first book on your own, it's so much easier to say, I'll do it later. And that's probably what you and many other people have been doing in attempts to write your first book. You start writing it, you get excited, you get the download of it, you get inspired, and then you start writing, and all of a sudden, there's no accountability around you. There's no people holding your feet to the fire and saying, hey, you said you were gonna do this. I wanna make sure that you have the support and the information that you need to move forward and do this. And so with the mastermind, we create 3 levels of accountability. The first level of accountability is the Facebook group. You know, you get a global community of people running this race with us, and you get to check in. If you're struggling, it's up to you to be vulnerable and check in and say, hey man, I'm really struggling with this perfectionist thing. I'm trying to get it perfect, you know, right up front. Can you help me out? And then boom, people are gonna swarm to you. People are gonna come to you and say, hey, you know, what about this? What about this? Try this, ask this question. And you don't have that when you're just writing your book on your own. But when you're in a mastermind and you're in a container where you've got a whole group of people from all around the world who are willing to support you and help you move past those internal blocks, it becomes easier and a lot more fun to write that first book. The next level of accountability is what I call your mastermind accountability groups, your MAG groups. And you meet every single month together and you ask 3 questions. What am I celebrating? What am I stuck on, or what do I need help with? And what specific support do you need right now in this moment? And so by going through those 3 questions, you get to celebrate what you're doing, you get to acknowledge where you're stuck and what challenges you're facing, and then you get to get support of people who are saying, hey, what about this, and giving you suggestions and helping you work through those internal blocks so that you can keep going along the way. And then finally, the last level of accountability is an accountability buddy. You'll be paired up with somebody in your mastermind accountability group so that you can check in with each other every day and say, hey, did you write today? How's it going? Can I help you? What can I support you with? And so I've done my best to include as many levels of accountability as I can, knowing that most people don't write their first book because of the lack of accountability. So when you join the mastermind, immediately you're going to have 3 levels of accountability.